I'm Mike Franco. I'm a candidate for state chair.
Please, microphone is there.
I apologize.
Out of the screen. There you go.
Start over.
I'm Mike Franco. I'm a candidate for state chair, and I'm a native of Massachusetts, born and raised in Western Massachusetts, Springfield, born there, and East Longmeadow raised. My parents are from the old country. My grandparents are from the old country. My parents are first generation here out of Springfield in mechanical engineering technologies from Springfield Community Technical School out of Springfield, and I have an MBA from the University of Texas in San Antonio when I lived down in Texas for about 5 years with the Air Force. So I have a lot of educational credentials, and I have a lot of professional credentials. I worked in the private sector for about 6 or 7 years in sales and marketing during the 90s, and I sold machine tools, and I did national product management, and called on a lot of business up and down the eastern seaboard here. Went on a lot of joint sale calls with manufacturing reps and technical reps, and called on business across the Commonwealth here and saw what people were making in manufacturing. I think business here is very crucial for our families. We need to have strong businesses. We need to start making things again because that's where real revenue is generated from, business, not social services. My background in Republican politics started about 8 to 10 years ago. I got active in family advocacy, helping out families in the Western Mass region and embattled in the court system process. And I found out very quickly that our government needs to be kept in check. There's some serious problems with the way government administers business, and I won't get into the details, but it got me involved with families, with children, and that's how I really started to taste politics and realize that everything we do in life is politically related. The roads that we drive on are politically related, whether or not the potholes get filled or not. And so I got involved in politics. I was an independent. I was not a Republican, but I was more conservative, right of center. So I did tend to go the Republican route. Since I was also an Air Force officer, military personnel tend to be a little bit more Republican than the general population. So I did have a tendency that way. When a friend of mine asked me to run for state rep in District 5 of Hamden County, I registered as a Republican far enough out, a year out, so I could get in there for the 02 race, and I ran against a Democrat. I've run mostly partisan races for state rep and for governor's council, and I ran a couple local races. I've been involved in a lot of campaigns. I helped a lot of people get elected or good showings. There's a young man in Chicopee who is now on a school committee. I helped him, did a lot of writing for him. I did standouts. I did just about anything I could for him, and he got elected. He worked hard and appreciated the skills and talents I could bring him. Been involved in local politics in Ward 5 Republican Committee, and it was basically, there was no committee in Ward 5 in Holyoke, and we built it up to 22 members, and I led that committee for about 3 to 4 years, and then I passed it over to an able person who has taken it forward and pretty much keeping in place a lot of the things that we had built, to include outreach programs, to go into the community and have forums, workshops, and these kinds of things which we open up to the general public for free, and they come in to a Republican-sponsored committee event, have coffee, maybe dinner with us, and learn about certain types of nonpartisan, good government policy information. We've had the Pioneer Institute come out quite a bit on different initiatives, from school choice to managing water demand, and we've had CLT come out, Citizens for Limited Taxation, and work with our tax people with regard to how the levy is set for taxes, how to process tax abatement workshop, tax abatement paperwork, and to get, a break, hopefully, on their property taxes, because the valuations and the rates keep fluctuating, and generally the people just keep paying more and more every year for their property. So we want to bring value to Republicans and the general public in our community, so they understand that Republicans are doing good things, and that's what I've instituted locally. I also think it's important to cross-pollinate the committees, working the local committees, the wards, the cities and towns, working with the regional Republican committees so we can share resources. In other words, a local committee, like out of a ward or a town, may not have enough people with the pool of talent and resources to establish subcommittees to get certain jobs done. And I think that's where the regional committee can help out and get and pursue initiatives to get things done, to get work done, to bring value to the community. I also believe that the local committee should raise their own money and support their candidates the best that they can. I don't think it's the role of the state party to always be looked to support candidates. It's nice if the state party does have some money to nominally support candidates, but I think providing the infrastructure for those candidates, like the voter vault, moral support, and some networking regionally and so forth is very essential and important for the state party to do, but we shouldn't be looking as candidates and local committees for the state party to foot the bill for everybody, because that's all. With how many candidates I want to run, that would be very, very expensive. I think from my experience running for state rep in 2002, governor's council in 2006, and governor's council again in 2008, out in the Western District, improving all along from in the governor's council race from 22% to 31% in just this past election. I think that the state party should give consideration to candidacies. If you're running as a Republican and you've always supported Republican candidates and Republican causes, it would be a shame if the state party didn't pick up the phone and give you a call and say, thanks a lot for what you do. And to my understanding, a lot of candidates were not contacted by the state officials from the executive council, executive board of the Republican Party in Massachusetts. And I would hope to change that if I became chair. So I've told you about my roots, some of my education, experience in the private sector, and my Republican activism. And I'd like to speak to you a little bit about my plan for the Republican Party here in Massachusetts going forward. It's like a three-part plan. The first is recruitment and grassroots, recruitment of the grassroots and committee members. What I mean here is that as we go into our committees and our communities, we're always on the hunt, recruiting members to join the Republican ranks. If you're among issue group people who are right of center, they belong to regional organizations or statewide organizations based on certain issues that Republicans tend to gravitate to, we need to get with those people and start to encourage them to become part of the Republican Party. We also need to go into our committees where there's established Republican members and continue to encourage them to stay part of the committee, because a lot of people get discouraged. We've had a lot of losses and so forth. Sometimes there's infighting and we lose membership. And it's unfortunate in Massachusetts and California we lose population because the Republicans and people of responsibility are tired of paying the bills, so they get out. So it's getting harder and harder for us to get traction. And so we need to go into these grassroots organizations. We need to read the papers for letters to the editor, and the issues I'm speaking to are related to some of the social causes, property rights, freedoms, and liberties. I think we have a natural tendency towards these issues, and we should seek people out and get them into the Republican ranks. Often they're independents. They're not really politically motivated and part of committee membership. We need to change that.